Hey guys, today we're going to paint one of these blanks I get from Lure Parts Online. This is a Mann's blank from Mann's Bait Company. Lure Parts Online sells them. This one goes a little deeper, about 6 or 8 feet deep. I thought early season, colder water, maybe a craw color, or something they could even mistake for a bluegill. Anyway, let's give her a shot, see what we get. Alright, always start out the same way, well, almost the same way. Createx opaque white to give us our base coat. Just a nice coat of white paint gets all those colors to show up right. That's all it takes. Now we'll move on. You know, the Mann's is kind of a deep diver. We're going to get down there 6-7 feet, something like that. So early in the spring, I kind of like something. You know, I'm bluegill, crawdad, kind of something that actually could either go either one with colors. So we're going to start out Createx transparent orange. And we're going to go orange on the belly. There we go, just an orange belly. And you know, like I said, the orange sometimes ought to work for your bluegill. But of course, it's also going to work with your crawdad lure in the spring. All right, let me clean up. Let's move on. All right, now this next color might be a little more in line with the gill than the crawdad, and that is I like the pearlized copper because it'll give you a lot of flash in the water. So let's go with a little bit of the copper here. I think my copper is getting a little thick on me. I'm getting down to the bottom. Might be time I'll have to either thin that out or buy some new. Alright, there we go. Got our copper. Got our orange. You know what? Before I put my next color on, I want to dry this just a little bit before I stick my next color on. So I'm going to get the heat gun and dry some of this. Alright, for our next color, we're going to move away from the Createx. We're going to move over to a Walmart Apple Barrel brand because I like this real, it's called Burnt Umber. As far as I'm concerned, it's a real dark chocolate brown. So we're going to take a little of this, and it's way too thick to go through our sprayer. So we're going to start add a little water. As you can see, I get real picky of how I measure that. They always say consistency of milk. I don't know. I've never yet found what I consider consistency of milk, but you don't want it too thin. You got to be a little careful with that. And you don't want it too thick or it's going to plug up for you. And the Walmart paints, I don't want to say they're notorious for plugging up, but the pigments, the paint pigments in this paint is not really to be designed to go through a sprayer like this. This is more of a craft paint. So the paint pigment flakes are a little bit big. Sometimes they can give you a problem, plug you up. So just got to be careful. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, so far so good. Here we go. We'll go right down the back. And then I want to do the head. I'm going to kind of turn it this way. Just kind of sneak up on the head a little bit. That's all. I don't want too much up there. And just a second. And there we go. We got our orange, our copper, and a brown on top. Real simple, easy to paint, 3 colors. Yeah, I mean you could do anything on that top. I mean, let's face it. I could have come back with the Createx, a pearl green, a dark green on top probably would have worked. I could have put a black on top. About anything that would cover the copper, anything darker than that for that dark top. In this situation, I wanted to try the chocolate brown one. I wanted that color. All right, Gonna get a set of eyes and a top coat. We'll see if we can get this thing to it'll catch some fish. All right, we're gonna do our top coat. And I always use the Bob Smith Industry 30-minute slow cure. And they always say equal parts. And I can't say I necessarily measure mine. I know you're supposed to, but I don't. So let me get a stirrer here to get it stirred up a little. Doesn't take a whole lot. But you know what? Our lure lay is a little bit plain. So I thought maybe we can jazz that up a little. So we're copper and brown, so I found some glitter that's got to look a little bit like copper and brown, I guess. So let's throw a little of this in here. And we better not get too carried away here. Glitter, you can get a little carried away if you're not careful. So we want a little glitter on it to shine it up a little, but and I know that'll make it look like it's really dark now, but we should be okay. So let's see what we got. I just put yellow eyes on. I like the red, but I thought this time around we'd go yellow. See if that's a little more color coordinated to the lures we used, or the colors we used in the lure. Now a while back I did a lure, and it was a blue one, and I used blue glitter. And it showed up, but it wasn't, didn't show up the greatest. I think I mentioned it at the time. And at that point I said, well, what if we used a glitter that was a contrasting color instead? So if we had light, we used a dark glitter, and we didn't try to match. Well, that's kind of what we're going to be doing here today with this one, because the glitter seems to be more like our brown that we got on top, but it's got enough sparkle to it. I think it'll show up there too. As always, just a cheap Walmart brush. You don't have to worry about getting fancy there. The brush strokes will all go away when you hang it up. Let it sit. And that should be close to having us done. Alright, let me take a good look. Go all the way around. Look for anything I missed. And that's looking pretty good. Hang on right here on top. There we go. Alright. Now that took a pretty plain lure and really jazzed it up pretty good. How much you're going to see, I don't know, but I'll tell you what. We'll let that dry and we'll show you what I got. And I think you'll be impressed. It really jazzed it up some. Well, there we go, guys. You know, with that combination, the copper, brown, orange, I mean, you could be mimicking a crawdad, yellow perch, even a bluegill. It'll cover about any of those. Add a little glitter, really makes it pop. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.